Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. हेलो अभी कोई नहीं है ना. हेलो. हेलो गुड आफ्टरनून. स्टार्ट कर दें अगर स्टॉप कर दें. स्टार्ट हो गया ना. Hello, good afternoon, friends. Today we are going to discuss about the last class that we have discussed. Still 2 to 3 minutes is there, right? So I just want to revise the previous classes, right? In the last class we have discussed about the hello. In the last class, what we have discussed? We have discussed about the reform movement. We have discussed about the certain type of tribal uprising and certain type of the civil uprising as well. Today we are going to discuss about the impact of British rule in education, press and other field, right? Today we are going to discuss about the impact of British rule, right? Hello, see the impact of British rule in India. See the educational development. First, we discuss about the educational development during the British era. Educational development during the British era, right? Today we are discussing about the educational development during the British era. As we all know that under the influence of Britishers, educational system has been improved, right? And what we see that education, press and even in the infrastructural sectors, we got the different type of development. Now, first we will analyze the educational development, right, under the British regime. First, we discuss about the educational development during the British regime. See, the point is that 1781, please note down 1781, this is the time 1781, Warren Hastings has set up the Calcutta Madrasa. Warren Hastings has set up the Calcutta Madrasa, right, to study the Muslims' education, Persian philosophy, etc. This is the time to set up Calcutta Madrasa. It is mainly for the Islamic study. See, it is mainly for the Islamic study and philosophy, right? Islamic study and philosophy. Calcutta Madrasa was set up in Bengal. In 1791, to study the human philosophy, to Hindu philosophy and law and philosophy, education of Sanskrit as well. A Sanskrit college was set up by Jonathan Duncan. Jonathan Duncan has set up a Sanskrit college in Banaras. See, during that time, you will see some religious books were also translated. Britisher has tried to codify the Hindu philosophy as well as the Indian philosophy to study the education, philosophy, and some laws. They have set up the new educational setup, right? So, this educational system certainly improved the conditions. See, 1784, to study history, archaeology and culture, Asiatic Society was also set up. Asiatic Society was also set up in Bengal. Asiatic Society was set up in Bengal, right? And Asiatic Society, Calcutta Madrasa and Sanskrit College, it was a turning point. After some time, what we have seen that during the time of Wellesley, we are discussing today the educational development. First, we see the educational development, then we go to the development of press and literature. Educational development we see in time of Wellesley in 1800, exactly in 1800, during the time of Lord Wellesley, what we see? We see the at Fort William, Calcutta, Fort William, we see the training schools for the civil servant has been set up. A training school for civil servant, right? In 1800, for training of the civil servant, one academy was opened, Calcutta, Fort William, right? So, over the year, what we see that the educational development was going on under the British system. Now, Indian people also try to study the Western philosophy, modern law, education as well. See, the another important point, another turning point in 1813, what we see that the Chartered Act of 1813. Chartered Act of 1813. Chartered Act of 1813. See, in this act, first time 1 lakh rupees was spent to Indian educations by the Britishers, and Christian missionaries has been allowed to set up educational institution. They have set up many primary education center. They have set up the many primary school and colleges, primary schools, and then some other educational institutions. So 1813 Act was considered as a turning point for the educational development, because by this, what we see that by this, we can say many school, colleges, institution and training center has been opened up, right? Okay, now coming to another important point of educational development, that the English education was going to be a very popular among the some elite class, and Britishers also give much focus to the English education. you will see the downward filtration theory was also started, right? Downward filtration theory were started. Huh. Downward filtration theory was started. So under that, you see, Britisher focused to education to the upper class, right? Upper class, right? Upper class. If upper class will be educated, then lower strata of the society will automatically develop. During the time of William Bantic, we see the Macaulay report also, Macaulay Mint. They are also associated with the downward filtration. Macaulay Mint, 1835, under the draft, you see many school and colleges like Medical College of Calcutta, many engineering schools, colleges, and other colleges have been set up, right? So 1835, you see the educational draft were also prepared, but in that time the main focus was English education. Basically, Britisher want that English educated clerks should be produced from the Indian masses. They want that the clerical cadre must come from the Indian territory, because they don't want that Indian should qualify civil service examination. So they want English spoken people. It will help their functioning of the administration. That's why they have given emphasis to the English education, right? So English education was a very prominent. Over the year, what we see during the time of Lord Hardinge, 1844, one order was issued that if anyone want to join the government service, they have to be a good knowledge, they have to know about the English. So English was made as a compulsory. In 1844, English was made compulsory. So English education is essential for public service job, right? English education was essential for public service job. That's why Indian people also want to learn English. So ultimately, it has reduced the scope of Sanskrit, Persian, Urdu, and vernacular languages, right? Now, coming to the major important turning point under the British regime in the course of education, that is Wood Dispatch. Wood Dispatch. See, Wood Dispatch during the time of Lord Dalhousie, right? 1854. Lord Dalhousie, 1854. It is the Wood Dispatch. Draft was prepared and it was come to the public domain. Wood Dispatch is considered to be a Magna Carta for Indian educational system. It is considered to be a Magna Carta. Magna Carta. It was a document related to freedom or liberty. It was signed between the people of UK and Prince or King of the UK. So here it means that it will liberate Indian education system. Magna Carta, it is a milestone document. So Wood Dispatch is considered to be a Magna Carta because it will certainly change the structure of Indian education you will see the first time a separate education department was set up. See, the first time a separate education department was set up, right? It emphasized on higher education system, higher education system. It also recommended that huge grant should be given to school and colleges and university. Grants in add. Some training and technical institution need to be set up. Some training and technical institution is needed to be set up, right? The major recommendation of the Wood Dispatch, that is to set up university, right? See, university and colleges. On the recommendation of Wood Dispatch, the three prominent university, Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. Calcutta, Bombay and Madras University was set up. So, on the recommendation of the Wood Dispatch, Calcutta, Mumbai and Madras Education Institution University was set up. So, this three university become the very prominent, and it was set up under the Wood Dispatch, right? So, over the year, you will see in India, there are the different educational institution, teacher training courses. You will see technical institution, university was first time set up, and Christian missionaries has spread many school, institution and colleges, right? So, now the Indian education system got a new dimension, right? So after the Lord Dalhousie, Lord Canning has continuously supported the educational system, right? Even the grants were also given, financial decentralization were also allowed, right? Even you will see during the time of Lord Mayo, Lord Lytton, the educational grants and decentralization were given. Again, the coming to the next step for the educational development, right? During the time of Lord Ripon, you can say Lord Ripon, during this time, a Hunter Commission was appointed, 1882. This is very important, please note down, Hunter Commission, right? Hunter Commission was set up 1882 during the time of Lord Ripon. Lord Ripon is well known for the local self-government. He opened the local self-government in India. He considered to be father of the local self-government. So 1882-83, Hunter Commission, right? Hunter Commission was set up. It emphasized on primary educational systems along with the technical education. So the grants has been given for primary education development, technical education, and district level education system need to be improved, right? district educational system need to be improved. So Hunter Commission was also considered to be a landmark in the educational development in during the time of the Britishers, right? So what I would like to say that the educational development during the British regime was now rapidly growing with the different type of the program and policy initiated by the Britishers. You see, 1904, Curzon, during the time of Lord Curzon, they set up a commission, right? Why? For the reform in the Calcutta University, right? Mr. Philip Sargent, they have mainly focused on University Act was passed during that time. University Act was passed that time, and it emphasized to the restructuring of the Calcutta University, restructuring of the Calcutta University, okay? See, 1917, a Sadler Commission was set up. This commission was focused on holistic development, primary, secondary, teacher training program, medicine, right? Sadler Commission. And you know, in the Sadler Commission, Philip Sadler, Mr. Sadler was chairman, and two Indian were given representation. Ashutosh Mukherjee and Ziauddin Ahmad and Ashutosh Mukherjee. Both gentlemen were given representation, and they have to give overall the educational development of India, right? Future educational developmental program. Educational developmental program, they need to be set up. Now, coming to the another turning point, I would like to say that 1909 and 1919 Act, both Act, 1919, the education was given utmost priority, right? Now, 1929, right? 1929, Hartog Commission was set up. Hartog Commission was set up for overall evaluation of the educational development in India, right? Under the British regime. Now, it was the time for the Gandhian era. Gandhian era, I mean to say that the Gandhian education program. Gandhiji, already you know, they came to the India. They are starting different type of movement like non-cooperation and CDM movement. So Gandhiji also given the education program, right? Gandhiji has gave their education plan under Wardha scheme, right? Gandhian plan was chaired by Zakir Hussain, renowned educationist. See, Gandhiji has given the concept of Nai Talim. Gandhiji has given education to the Nai Talim, right? Nai Talim, right? It's a Nai Talim, and it focus on education, learning with earning, right? Education should be connected to the industry, connected with the agriculture. Agriculture should be connected industry, agriculture, right? Education must be connected with the social service, right? Education system must be connected with the personality development, right? Gandhian education was a holistic education. Gandhiji want that to explain education through the learning with earning. Education should not confine to bookish knowledge only. Education must accommodate the idea of agriculture, idea of industry, and idea of prosperity. That's why Gandhian education system was very popular. Gandhian education system is considered to be remedy of the unemployment. Gandhiji also want that India must develop, and in this course of time Gandhiji had given their program of education. So what we have see that during the time of Britisher has taken the number of steps for the educational development. During that time many school, colleges, university, technical institution, medical college, engineering program was set up. Okay, and as we know that during that time many reformists like Rajaram Mohan Rai, like Ishwarchand Vidyasagar, even Dayanand Saraswati ideas, they spread the education system to the India, and Indian education system now emphasize the broad education. Now it based on scientific rational thinking and technical programs. It is not confined to only a traditional philosophical knowledge, or you can say Sanskrit knowledge. It has set up a new dimension, new type of education system, innovative, scientific, rational thinking, and it has reduced the regionalism, it has reduced the untouchability, it has reduced the woman, you can say, exploitation. So it has certainly changed the society. So British educational system has paved the way for transformation of society. It has created the renaissance for the common man. So total transformation was possible through this educational system. Many women colleges, Sanskrit college was set up. Now you can also discuss the development of printing press or newspapers development, and you can say the restrictions that was initiated during the time of the Britisher, right? Broadly we can analyze the impact of Britisher in India in educational development, press, and economical exploitation. So after that we will go to the economical exploitation. First we are discussing about the printing press development. As we know that the printing press came India by the Portuguese, right? Hai? Printing press introduced in India by Portuguese printing press brought first Portuguese जो है printing press 1780 Saint Augustine Hickey had started the Bengal Gazette, the first paper, Bengal Gazette, a Bengal Gazette, right? It is the first paper in India, right? Hai? And over the year you will see the different paper. And in Hindi, the Uddant Martand was first, the Bengal Gazette was English paper, it was the first. The printing press was introduced by the Portuguese, you can understand. And over the year, what we have seen, the restrictions were imposed by the Britisher. In that time, as we know that the Western idea was the mean by which we are going to start our idea as well. See, the rise of nationalism The newspaper has played important role in the growing nationalism during the British regime. Growing nationalism become helpful with the education and newspaper. Newspaper was a mean by which public opinion was formed, right? And you will see in that time vernacular press was there. Newspaper generally in local language, that is a vernacular local languages, right? Initially, Britisher did not oppose, but when they are writing against the Britisher, they expose. When the newspaper criticize Britisher policy, imperialism, colonialism, then they start to make restriction in that. First time you will see 1799, right? Lord Wellesley, you will see Lord Wellesley has put restriction on press, right? Lord Wellesley, you will see the press censorship. Restrictions was imposed. You will see the restriction was imposed. Restriction put by them. 1799 restriction put on the newspaper. Okay. Over the year, what we see, there are the in licensing policy, right? Press Licensing Act, right? Press Licensing Act in 1823. Press Licensing Act. Press Licensing Act. You see Ram Mohan Roy paper, Ram Mohan Roy, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, one paper, right? That is Mirat ul Akhbar was closed. Mirat ul Akhbar. Under the new regulation of Press Act 1823, Ram Mohan Roy, Raja Ram Mohan Roy paper Mirat ul Akhbar was closed. Britisher has put restriction on them. As we know that Ram Mohan Roy was a champion of freedom of press. He believed in the speaking power. He was also very vocal, critical toward the British exploitation policy. So, this paper was closed. Again, Britisher want that the local language should be stopped. Although they are in favor of the English education, because most of the masses are not enough literate. They are not enough literate, so they don't know about the English education. Okay, so that's why they put much stress to the local languages that people could not understand, and they given slight liberty to the English paper as well. See, another important turning point, Ram Mohan Roy paper, after Ram Mohan Roy, you will see the Press Act. Press Act 1835. Press Act was published, right? And you will see Charles Metcalfe. After that, Press Act given the certain liberty regarding the printing, newspaper, etc. Right? Please note down. Now, one point please see. Charles Metcalfe was considered as a liberator of press. Liberator of press, because he first time removed the restrictions upon the press. He has removed restriction Britisher through the different act, through the licensing policy, put number of restrictions, and Charles Metcalfe has removed that restriction. Charles Metcalfe has removed that restriction. That's why he was considered as a he was a liberator of the press. Okay, and after that you will see the press licensing policy, press registration policy, 1857, 1867, right? Over the year, Press Licensing, Press Licensing Act, and Press Registration Act. Licensing Act, Registration Act. After registration, they can start the press, right? Newspaper and all. See, one important turning point came during the time of Lord Lytton. Lord Lytton time. Lord Lytton, 1876 to 1880 का timeline. This is the timeline. And 1878. 1878. Please note down 1878. 1878. Right? Vernacular Press Act. Vernacular Press Act. This act was considered to be a gagging act. It has stopped the voice of the people. It is considered to be a gagging act. According to this act, district magistrate got the huge power. You can say their power has been increased. They can seize the printing press and all, right? If without any permission anything was published, it put the number of restriction that you cannot produce anything without the approval of the administration. That's why this act is considered to be a gagging act, Vernacular Press Act, introduced by the Lord Lytton. Please note down who introduced. This question has been asked in earlier exam. Vernacular Press Act, Lord Lytton. And who removed restrictions? Restrictions was removed by the Lord Ripon. See, Lord Ripon has put the restriction aside and they given the freedom to press. So Lord Ripon was considered to be again the liberator. They put the restrictions to the press, right? Because by this act, local language paper cannot be published, right? And number of restriction put to the common man. And you see, one paper become overnight English, that is Amrit Bazar Patrika. One very famous paper, that is Amrit Bazar Patrika. This paper was published by Motilal Ghosh and Shishir Kumar. Amrit Bazar Patrika. Amrit Bazar Patrika overnight become English. Overnight become English. See, right? Because in local language the paper cannot be published. So Britishers were using the different technique regarding the suppression of the voice of the common people, right? So under the British regime, you can say the number of change was brought. Although as we know that Lord Lytton was very notorious because Lord Lytton has introduced Vernacular Press Act, Arms Act, right? You can see here some point. Lord Lytton Lord Lytton, along with the Vernacular Press Act, Dramatic Performance Act, 1878, Dramatic Performance Act. This was also related to the freedom, because no drama, no activity can be created against the Britisher. These two type of restriction put. Then Arms Act, Indian cannot put arms, only Britisher can kept arms. So there was a discriminatory policy. Although you can understand in 1882 all such restrictions was removed by the Lord Ripon, and Ripon introduced local self-government as well. 1882, and he put all restriction aside. They given the freedom to the Vernacular Press Act, Dramatic Performance Act, etc. During the time of Lord Ripon, you can understand Ilbert Bill controversy. Ilbert Bill controversy. During which Viceroy? You can say it was Lord Ripon, Ilbert Bill. Ilbert Bill, because it was a P.C. Ilbert law member who prepared a draft. According to this draft, Indian can trial to the European. Okay? Now, Britisher has protested that they cannot trial because India are inferior in race. So it is a racialism. So ultimately, this draft was withdrawn. Now, coming to another aspect of the press development, you see 1908, right? Incitement of the offense, right? Offense Act, against some restrictions, right? And 1910 Act also put restrictions, right? So what I would like to say, government constantly trying to put the number of restrictions on the press. And 1929, very famous, you note down here, that is Press Inquiry Act. Press Inquiry Act. It was led by Tej Bahadur Sapuru. However, under this, certain freedom has been restored. So, I would like to say that during the time of freedom struggle, Indian newspaper, Indian press, media has played very vital role in creating awareness among the people and growing nationalism, right? If you see the raising national consciousness and development of political consciousness during the 18th and 19th century, you see the role of media, press was very important. Certain newspaper, you can say, I have told you that Amrit Bazar Patrika, yeah, even the Hindu paper was there, the Hindu, that B. Raghavan has started Hindu paper, Times of India, right? You will see very famous paper, Bal Gangadhar Tilak paper. That was paper was Maratha and Kesari. Maratha Kesari also important for the spreading nationalism. Maratha paper was written in English language and Kesari was written in Marathi. Okay, and Kesari, Kesari written in Marathi, and in Kesari, Britishers was criticized by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, their economic policy, and that's why a sedition charges was made and he given 6 year imprisonment, right? So there are the many newspaper like India Mirror, Amrit Bazar Patrika, even you will see during the time of freedom struggle, Yugantar and all has promoted the idea of nationalism. So press has certainly play a very crucial role in the development of the national consciousness, right? Along with the press, you can also see the very famous book like Hindu Patriot, like Anand Math book, you can say, right? Book like Anand Math, written by Bankim Chand Chatterjee, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, right? Hindu Patriot by Harish Chandra Mukherjee, right? Harish Chandra Mukherjee. This paper has certainly played important role, and you will see Dada Bhai Naroji book Poverty and Un-British Rule, Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, where Dadabhai Naoroji has propounded the drain of wealth theory. Okay, drain of wealth theory propounded by Dadabhai Naoroji in Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. So they expose the Britishers' policy of exploitation, right? You will see Economic History of India, R.C. Datta, Peasantry of Bengal, right? So there are the number of book and newspaper that has spread the idea of nationalism, right? We are not talking all book like Gandhiji book like Navjivan, Young India and all. We will discuss on in later part like any Besant book like Commonwealth and New India, right? So there are the number of newspaper general that play an important role and vital role, right, in the spread of nationalism. Major press, you can see the 1900 after the partition of Bengal, after or during the time of partition of Bengal, during the time of partition of Bengal, you will see the number of newspaper and some articles that play an important role in the spread of nationalism. Okay, see, under the British regime, the third segment that we see the economical impact of British rule in India. Economical impact of the British rule. 1813, 1757, 1757, 1757, 1857, you see 1857 till 1947, right? This is the phase wise you can analyze the economical impact, right? The Britishers' main motive was exploitation, right? exploitation. Imperialism, it led to unemployment, poverty, heavy taxation policy, drain of wealth, and deindustrialization. Deindustrialization, commercialization of agriculture, commercialization of right. See, the major impact of Britisher you will see in economical structure, that our infrastructural change, you can say. Initially, Britisher came India for just a trade, but over the year they tried to exploit economically and they tried to impose their political system to India. And it has overall changed the basic structure of economy, society, and administration. From 1813, that was the initial stage of the East India Company, you will see the East India Company has penetrated to the remote area. They tried to commercialization of agriculture. They tried to convert Indian agriculture system according to the need and utility of the Britishers. 1833 Act has given other company to chance to come India and exploit. They have converted our agriculture system toward the need of the Britishers. They focused to produce tea, indigo, opium, etc. because it was demanded in European market. Later on, what we see that uh, industrial development. When the railway come to the picture, the industrial development has started. It was not a industrial development. In fact, it was a deindustrialization process, because after the development of railway, what we see, the first thing is that the cottage and a small scale industry was destroyed, right? Then you see the traditional center of you can say cotton producing center like Dhaka, Calcutta, it was destroyed. Weaver get unemployed because machine made product came. So it has certainly increased the unemployment. It has certainly destroyed the cottage and a small scale industry, traditional small scale industry. In that time, Bengal, you see the weaving industry was very high, but under the British regime, it was totally destroyed. And over the time, Britisher put taxation also. Britisher has used the different type of technique, and they try to increase the taxation. So their taxation policy certainly created problem for the Indian peoples, right? So it led to the poverty, unemployment, it led to the heavy tax burden to the small farmer, right? Money lenders and landlord got the most of the time gain. So original gain taken by the Britisher, but in the meantime, middleman role played by the landlord, you will see the money lender, and the common people suffer from poverty, unemployment, and huge exploitation. Over the year, burden of tax has been increased. And you see also in that time famine also came. Britisher did not give in any relief, rather they put extra tax on them, right? Time to time Britisher has used a different type of the agriculture system, agriculture taxation system like Mahalwari system, Rayatwari system, like permanent settlement, it has certainly created problem. But the most important thing is that it has totally destroyed the small scale and cottage industry that was the backbone of the Indian economical system, right? And under the impact of Britisher, you see the a structural change in the economy, right? You see the destruction of cottage and a small scale industry, right? Indian agriculture now commercialize by the act of 1813. Home charges put. Industrial revolution has changed the British economy and it has impacted to the Indian economy as well. Railways introduction has further increased the deindustrialization. Okay. You see the taxation policy, right? The burden of tax were increasing. Burden of tax over the year has been increasing, right? There was a different type of tax policy. Yeah, you can say the land measurement or land settlement, like permanent settlement, Rayatwari system, Mahalwari system. This type of the taxation policy Britisher has initiated, right? These are the important taxation policy. Basically, Britisher want that to earn a huge amount of profit, right? And that's why they put the certain, you can say, tax policy. Britisher's single motive was to earn a huge amount of the profit. That's why they have been using the different techniques for the earning the huge profit. You can see that Britishers during the time of Lord Cornwallis, they have started the permanent settlement system, right? Under the permanent settlement, you will see the landlord become the owner of the land, right? And or permanent settlement, what you see, permanent settlement, 1793, Lord Cornwallis, right? Under this, you can say the landlord become the permanent, landholder, permanent landholder. Britisher made agreement with that. The sharecropper, the agriculture croppers have to deal with the landlord. One fixed amount was put, and this amount they have to pay, right? Almost 89%. Only 11% will have to put under, have to be rest to the landlord. Those landlords are unable to pay the amount, given amount. Their landlord system should be auction. it has to be given to the other land, right? Now it will depend on the landlord how they will improve their tax policy. So for today class, right now, yahin par start, we should stop here, and tomorrow we will discuss from the taxation policy and all. Today we are discussing about the impact of British regime in India, right? We have also seen the educational development earlier classes. What we see, educational system. We have seen the press development, right? Different topic we have discussed, and now agriculture, overall impact of British and economical system. We will continue from tomorrow. Thank you for today. Thank you to all. Thank you.